Why consequences are essential in teaching children limits. In my last article, I introduced how important consequences are for making rules that children easily and naturally learn to honor. Today I want to explain more about why such consequences are essential and how to use consequences more effectively. Often we equate consequence with punishment, but when I speak of consequences, I refer to any response that the world brings to a child or adult as a result of his or her actions or choices. Consequences prepare us for thriving in the real world. We cannot avoid consequences. This is part of life, and consequences are there to instruct us on the best ways to handle reality. Thus, for our children to be prepared for reality, children need to experience reality-based consequences. If we fight against the consequences of reality, we often struggle and suffer. The more we resist the consequences of our choices, the more we suffer. For some, it appears that we just don't seem to get it, even though consequences keep slapping us in the face. Why is this? It appears that much of this inability to get it comes from the experiences growing up. If a child is protected from the consequences of poor choices, it appears that the child learns to believe that there is no consequence for them. Children then have the trouble thriving in the real world. It's as if their brain becomes wired to not take responsibility for their poor choices. Yet we can understand how they believe this if we, as parents, do not consistently make this connection clear to them. Choices come with consequences. For any action we take, there's a consequence, either immediately or down the line. The law of choice produces consequence doesn't change. It's just that the consequence tends to become more and more severe as we get older. That is why it's essential for children to get this while they're young, and we have the chance to instill this critical learning. Choice comes with consequence. Here are a few critical examples where parents often get soft on consequences. Children watch extra TV with no consequence. Children lie about homework with only verbal threats of what will happen. Children take no responsibility around the house with no consequence, only lectures. Children stay up late, lose sleep, and are allowed to go late to school. Children lose their iPod and get a new one with no responsibility for payment. Children talk sassy and disrespectful and still get everything they want. With no consequence for bad choices, kids develop delusional thinking. Delusional thinking, as I use the term here, is not about the clinical, formal use of the term. It is about children or adolescents thinking in a way that is delusional when compared to the way the world really works. How often do we see adolescents who firmly believe that they know more about the real world than mom or dad? I see it every day, and yet their thinking is quite delusional in many ways. Now, some of this is natural adolescent independence, but for others, they have a slanted view of the world that has no appreciation for the relationship between their choices and the consequences that will come to them in the real world. In order to get this critical lesson about reality, we can't protect our children from their poor choices. If we start early by setting up consistent consequences for choices, we then see that children do get it and are well prepared for stepping into the real world. As always, I invite your questions and feedback on these articles. You can email me directly at drkale@terrificparenting.com. If you'd like to get more practical parenting tips and learn the inside scoop on how small changes in your parenting can help your children, then visit me at www.terrificparenting.com. Or you can explore my YouTube channel by simply clicking on the subscribe button above my YouTube videos. Remember, the right parenting tools make all the difference. Come check us out at www.terrificparenting.com.